Spike Lee, welcome to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
It's a pleasure spending time with you. And I said this off screen, but I want to say on camera. You are doing a great job. You are speaking truth to power, and you're making a difference. You're making a difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank
Word
you.
is
Thank
bond.
you. Thank you.
Word is bond. Word to the vote. True.
But this interview is about you, man. Let's talk to the great Spike Lee. You've got a new movie that is coming out on Netflix that I had the pleasure of watching last night, and it's interesting. I mean, the last time I spoke to you about a film, it was BlacKkKlansman, right? And if you do me a favor, Spike, I'm gonna direct you for a second. Could you pull back up just a little bit so I get more of you in frame? Thank you so much. That's fantastic. That's beautiful.
I will take directions from you.
I wanted to talk to you about how Spike Lee is making movies now and what you're doing with your platform, because you know BlacKkKlansman, so many people watched it, and for me, one of the moments I will never forget is the scenes that you played from the news, real life news at the end of the movie, and how what was happening in the movie connected with what we're experiencing today. You've done something really similar in The Five Bloods, you know, in that you've created a story that's you know, it's a powerful story about black war veterans from the Vietnam War coming back together for a trip to go back to Vietnam to reconnect as brothers, to go and, you know, pay respect to somebody that they've lost. But you've made the film tie into what's happening now. You've even got some moments of today in there. Explain to me why you've chosen to do that.
Well, I think that, and also thank you for having me on the show. I think that people are more apt to enjoy an historical piece if in some way, shape, or form, you could slip in what's happening now. And as you mentioned, we did that at the end of BlacKkKlansman, where we saw the murder of Heather Heyer with that rally in Charlottesville. And it wasn't, the way the film came out had nothing to do with the timing, but there could not have been a better time for this film, because I truly think that a lot of what's in the film is why people are marching all across this world chanting Black Lives Matter. And in many cases, those are black and brown faces yelling Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And that's a win right there. That's a win right there. So I really feel strong about this, that all this energy, all these different people that were coming together, we're becoming galvanized, particularly in the United States of America. We have to keep this energy, register to vote, and celebrate when the numbers come in, like our brother Prince said, like it's 1999. I'm telling you, they're gonna be some of the biggest parties ever.
You've made films, Spike, that have captured the moment in America. So what I wanted to know was this: when you made The Five Bloods, every theme in the story connects to what's happening now. It's a story of 4 black men who served the American military during Vietnam. And what's really powerful is that they don't just face, you know, the struggles that all veterans face when they come back, but they have the compound suffering of being black as well. They come back to a country that's still racist. They come back to a country that still oppresses them, even though they fought for that country when they were called upon. That part of the story is really strong. You know, it's not just a trip. It's not just a boys' trip movie. It's a movie that goes into the war. It goes into the experiences. It goes into their PTSD. That felt like something you were really trying to focus on in the film. Why was that so important for you to do?
A very simple answer, my brother. Chadwick Boseman, who plays Stormy Norman, he tells him that the first person to die for the United States of America in the war, the American Revolutionary War, was a black man. 1770, there's a thing called the Boston Massacre. And a black man died, Crispus Attucks. So from the very beginning, we've been fighting for this country. From the very beginning. From the very beginning. We've been fighting for this country, as you said, that doesn't fight for us. We've been loving this country that doesn't love us. And so when this guy, Agent Orange, talks about our brother Colin Kaepernick not being patriotic, that's some BS. First of all, Colin, him kneeling had nothing to do with blasting the armed forces or disgracing Old Glory, red, white, and blue. It's about the same thing that people are marching all across the streets in this world. Agent Orange also called black NFL players SOBs. He also said that refrain, which came really from the Vietnam War, which is told towards anti-war protesters, America, love it or leave it. First of all, you cannot tell any African American, love it or leave it. We built this bitch. We built it. The foundation, I know some people might have heard me say this before, but bear with me. The foundation, United States of America, is the stealing of the land from the Native people and the genocide committed against them, paired with slavery. That is the foundation of the United States of America. It's a fact. Boom!
With states opening up and people protesting in the streets, a lot of the public feel like coronavirus is over. The only problem is, nobody told coronavirus.
America's COVID-19 pandemic has passed another terrible milestone. As of this morning, more than 2 million Americans have tested positive for the coronavirus. More than 112,000 of them have died. The head of Harvard's Global Health Institute said yesterday the U.S. death toll could reach 200,000 in September.
Earlier this week, 16 states reported an increase in average new COVID-19 cases compared to 2 weeks ago. At least 14 states have seen a rise in current hospitalizations since Memorial Day, including Texas, where hospitalizations jumped 42%. In Arizona, hospital capacity is at 83%. State data shows the usage of ventilators, ICU beds, and intubations at all-time highs.
You know, I can't say this for certain because I'm not like a scientist, but I feel like coronavirus grew up with a father who never loved it. Because right now it's working really hard to prove itself. I mean, 200,000 deaths by September? Coronavirus is attacking America so hard, half of the country is going to want to put up a statue of it. And look, there are many reasons that Americans are taking the pandemic less seriously. But one of those reasons might be the fact that the people running the country barely seem to be thinking about it anymore at all. I mean, they haven't held a corona press conference to update the public in weeks. Like, I don't know where the country officially stands. Do you? Are we winning? Are we losing? Can we go back outside? Can we sneeze on the buffet again? Like, what's happening? And it doesn't help that yesterday, just yesterday, the head of the coronavirus task force did this.
Vice President Mike Pence has deleted his tweet showing campaign staff ditching coronavirus safety recommendations. He posted the tweet last night showing him with a large group of Trump re-election campaign staffers with no social distancing or face masks. That despite the fact that these are the recommendations of the coronavirus task force that is led by Pence.
You see, this is the problem. How do you expect the public to take things seriously when you yourself are not taking it seriously? You tell people to wear masks, but then you're raw dogging the air. You tell people to social distance, but then you guys are crammed together like those tiny fish, like the fish inside the can, God, the fish, you know the fish, they got the smell, it's on the tip of my tongue. God damn it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Because it's clear to see America's battle against COVID. Sardines! It was sardines. You're packed together in a room like sardines. Ha! Now, while our movies are getting a lesson in racism, we're also making some updates to the movies of reading. Books.
One woman is changing the way people look at racism by changing its definition. Kennedy Mitchum contacted Merriam-Webster after she saw folks quoting the definition of racism online. Mitchum says the definition should include that there is a systemic oppression upon a group of people. It is not simply just dislike of someone because of the color of their skin or ethnicity. The editor of Merriam-Webster agreed and said a revision to the entry of racism is being drafted.
Whew. You know this movement is creating change when even the dictionary is agreeing that they need to update the definition of racism. Because dictionaries can be very slow to embrace change. I mean, most of these words have had the same definition since I was in preschool. And you know, it really does say something about how powerful this movement is. They just updated an entire word in the dictionary. That is huge. Like, imagine if whoever's in charge of math was just like, yo, we screwed up on the number 7. It's a lot more complicated than we realized. And you know, it makes perfect sense to do this. Because there are a lot of people out there who think that racism is only if you wear a Klan hood or call somebody the N-word. And then if you don't do that, you're not racist. I mean, Amy Cooper herself said, oh no, I know what I did was wrong, but I'm not racist. I never did anything racist. But the truth is, and people are starting to realize this, racism as a system is often more dangerous and destructive. You know, preventing black people from getting loans, stopping black kids from getting an equal education, racial disparities in medical treatment. You know, racism is like the corn syrup of society. It's in everything.